Okay. Oh, what's up, everybody?
What's up,
Uh,
Fuzzy
Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 143 of Tuck Rule Takes. Why the fuck did I say takes like that?
I don't know.
Tuck Rule Takes.
Tykes?
Episode 143 of Tuck Rule Takes.
Down here in the Bible Belt.
Gang's all here. Al's here. Liam's here. I'm Mike. We're here to talk about Patriots news. Fair amount of news. There was a game. There was kind of a big trade. And then we have, seems like we officially have a QB controversy. So not a ton of things to talk about, but I feel like there's a lot of girth within those topics. You know what I mean? But first and foremost, Al, I want to ask you a question. Just hear me out. Hear me out. So if someone has and I know it's never fun. No one wants to hear people talk about fantasy sports. Don't worry. This is not going to be quick. But Al, let me tell you, if you have
This is not going to be quick.
If you have the first pick in your draft.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I had the fourth.
Okay. If you have the fourth pick in your draft.
Yep.
And Tyreek Hill is available.
If I had the first pick, it'd be a little suspect.
Will you shut up and let him just outline the damn story?
Just a point.
God.
Who would you take between Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown? Tyreek Hill is a Dolphin and AJ Brown is an Eagle.
I would probably take Tyreek Hill.
Okay. So Liam picked fourth, I picked fifth. Liam picked AJ Brown, I picked Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
You're going to regret that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Liam, was it round 3? First, Al, let me ask you. When no quarterback has been taken off the board yet, none, what do you think is a good round to start looking at quarterbacks? Maybe even take one.
I typically go 5th or 6th round because I like to get my players early. So like if there's a good quarterback on the board, no one's taken it yet, and I can get a solid quarterback on the roster, wide receivers and not as much running backs, but wide receivers especially, there's a shit ton of them. Yeah. So you can afford to wait a little bit. So that's why if I'm getting a quarterback, I want that 5th, 6th round, because then when it comes around to the 7th round in past drafts, all good quarterbacks have been gone. They all get taken.
I agree. You take a good quarterback early.
You would admit, though, the 5th to 6th round is a little bit on the earlier side of taking a quarterback.
Oh, it is 100%.
Probably. Okay. Let me tell you, Liam, correct me if I'm wrong. When I ask Al this question, would the 3rd round be too early for you?
Depends on who the quarterback is.
It depends on who the QB is and who is still available.
He was going to be the first quarterback off the board.
Al, first let me ask you, who do you think Liam took in the 3rd round as quarterback?
I think he took Jalen Hurts.
He took Jalen fucking Hurts.
It hurts.
So let me just to let you know what's going on. I was driving back from South Carolina, so I was doing a dual draft. So I was driving. The wife was handling ESPN fantasy app. She likes football. She's drafted before.
Yeah, she clearly agreed with
so
me.
We're good to
Mike
go.
Didn't.
She looked at me and said, "Liam took Jalen Hurts." And I said,
Hurts.
"Are you serious?" And she's like, "What an idiot." So it's not just me.
No.
So
clearly, she clearly doesn't have the best taste in men, nor does she have the best sense of good football players, because she's wrong. This is the perfect quarterback, multi-purpose, fantastic, can do it all.
Sure.
He was going to be the number 1 quarterback off the board, and it was creepily approaching.
It was not. The reason why I started to approach was because you took someone in the 3rd. The next one was taken in like the 5th, I think, or something, right? Anyway.
No, Mahomes was taken.
I think it was, right? Okay. Yeah. Let me ask you another question, Al. On your fantasy team, for your first draft, before you start picking people up from waivers, how many quarterbacks do you normally want on your, or would you take on your roster?
I would take 2, a starter and a backup.
Okay. So, Liam, let me ask you, how many quarterbacks do you have on your roster?
Currently 3.
Meaning there's room for more. Now, his 3 quarterbacks, he has Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Caleb Williams. Definitely solid quarterbacks. And don't get me wrong, I have 2. I picked Tua with my last pick because I have Tyreek Hill. So I was like, whatever, I'll have that. Dumb. But I also like Why? That's all I want. Before we get into the Patriots news, I want to know why, because I was befuddled. Mind you, I'm driving, I'm weaving in and out of traffic, I'm trying to get home. And then I think Liam is pulling some fast one on me. I'm like, is this a draft? Is this like a league I've never been in? Is there something new? Do we start 2 quarterbacks? I didn't know what the rules were. Liam,
by the way, is this a free league or money league? Just curious.
No, it's money. It's money, baby. It's money.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I am hands down going to win this. Maybe at the end,
You're the 4th person who said that to me. So
we'll just that said I was going to win. I know.
No. Okay.
Well, you watch yourself into that one, Liam.
All I want, Liam, is just to know what your thought process was with the 3 quarterbacks, and then we'll get into the preseason game, where I think there's a lot of shit to come out of that game. But the world wants to know, all our viewers, all our people going to Sports Spider, clicking at the NFL tab, going to Patriots. You know what they're not doing? They're not going to Liam's fantasy page on Sports Spider.
They should be.
That's not what they're doing. They're going, again, I checked last week, checked the beginning of the week. We're still there. Click NFL, go to the Patriots. We're right there. As you're listening to this, if you go there now, odds are we are right at the top. But you know who's not going to be at the top is Liam in fantasy, because he has 3 quarterbacks.
If they knew, good strategy, they would.
Okay, they don't. Your strategy is about as good as Matt Patricia's offense. I want to know why you have 3 quarterbacks on your team.
Elementary, my dear Watson, I tell you. So my last quarterback that I picked was Caleb Williams. If any of you guys think that I'm going to be starting Caleb Williams, that's laughable. He paints his fingernails. I don't want somebody like that on my team. So I took him consciously knowing that my buddy, who's a diehard Bears fan, who adores the fucking guy, would trade for him. So I have a trade in place that will be finalized in 2 days, that I'm trading Caleb Williams for Brian Robinson, so who just got named the starter today over Austin Eckler. So below me.
When you have Austin Eckler there, you don't think they're going to split carries? Either way, that's still fine.
Austin Eckler's so washed.
Why are you taking 3? I understand that
Caleb Williams. I truly was never going to play him. If my buddy ends up declining the trade, if he sees that Brian Robinson's a starter, I'll trade him elsewhere. And I'll even hold on to him if he balls out and then try and sell him high. I'm not going to use him. But
how many people in this league?
10.
10 people. All right.
Let me.
Go. Liam, I'm curious to see what you do on Wednesday, because
it's going to be bold. There's going to be fireworks.
Yeah, and everyone's gonna look at you like you're the court jester.
They can look at me all they want. They can look at me all they want. It's already gonna be an island of misfits.
A madman is always misunderstood.
I've seen the invite list. It is just misfits galore in there. So if they're all looking at me funny, what?
Easy.
Wait a minute. What is Wednesday?
Our fantasy draft.
Yeah, it's in person. That's why you weren't invited.
You need to yell at him. You need to demoralize him when he starts picking Eagles players. Let me
hear me out. Let me just read off my roster, and I'll tell you what you think.
That's actually what I was going to do.
Fly through this. Yeah,
read off yours. I'll read off mine.
So obviously, headlining my team, face the franchise, Jalen Hurts. Running back, Travis Etienne, Alvin Kamara. PPR league, Alvin Kamara, money. Greatest wide receiver in the league, possibly ever, AJ Brown. That was a layup. Followed up second only by Cooper Kupp, who's going to absolutely crush it. He was hurt all last season. He's still the Triple Crown. He's going to do it all again. He's a beast. And Matt Stafford, I love him dearly. Got Brock Bowers late in the draft. Steal. No one was going near Brock Bowers. Seemed like a layup. Aaron Jones is my first flex. I picked up Keon Coleman, the only fucking receiver on that team, so I figure he's just going to get force-fed deep balls by that dumb bitch, Josh Allen, and I don't have Josh Allen, so I'm not going to get penalized for the 18 picks he throws. 49ers defense seemed like a layup, weak division. Justin Tucker, layup kicker, and then I did get Joe Burrow as a backup quarterback, and then I kind of went experimental with my bench. Lad McConkey, Xavier Legette, Blake Corum, Adonai Mitchell, and of course the second best tight end in the league, probably maybe even the best, Dallas Goedert.
Give me your defense and special teams and kicker again real quick, because that part came out a little
Niners, Justin Tuck.
Okay. All right.
Justin Tucker.
First of all, fuck you for two reasons: Justin Tucker and Lad McConkey, because I was going to take both of them, and you ended up taking them.
I know. So
I
could smell the dogs nipping at my
couldn't
heels.
You? I was like, I had her put him in the queue. You know, you can click people, put him in the queue. McConkey was in the queue, and then no.
Give me that. I'll trade you for him though if you're feeling dangerous.
Okay. Let me rattle off my team, and then we'll go. We'll only spend a little longer on this. So, okay, quarterback, not pumped. Kyler Murray. Running back, Derrick Henry. Second running back, Ramondre Stevenson. I have to have a Patriots guy. PPR, though, he's starting to catch more. I
wanted him, actually. You took him from me.
Yeah, goddamn right. Starting wide receiver, hate his guts, but Tyreek Hill. Drake London, next starting wide receiver. Travis Kelce is my tight end. Calvin Ridley is my flex.
Wow, picking Calvin Ridley despite betraying us.
I picked him. Najee Harris is my flex running back. Jags as the defense. I normally go defense from week to week. It is what it is. Like, for instance, I'm picking up another defense this time. Jake Elliott.
Love your kicker.
Jake Elliott from the Eagles is my kicker. My bench, nothing to shake a dick at. Tony Pollard. One, Jacoby Myers. Mike Williams on the Jets. Lockett from Seattle. He always seems to have like one or two good games. So I'm going to get him in there. Shakir from Buffalo. Same thought process as you. I was like, someone has to catch passes from Josh Allen. So got him. Hunter Henry.
I wanted Hunter Henry too.
Tight end.
You took him for me. I was gonna.
Yeah, I will only play him as backup, and then I got Tua as my second quarterback. So every once in a while, I'll plug them in. Little tag team action with Tua and Tyreek Hill.
I'll give your lad for Jacoby.
Well, I'll send it in. I'll have my people. I have my people talk to your people, and we'll see.
All right, call my agent.
Shit, I might. I like that. Al, first thoughts. Who do you think has the better team? And we're not going to argue about it because we know the answer. But
obviously,
I like Liam's quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like
Liam's.
I like Travis Kelce on your team. I like the 49ers defense. I think your kickers are a wash. Wide receivers, you both have a good wide receiver one. Liam, who's your wide receiver two right now in your starting lineup?
Cooper Kupp.
Drake London.
See,
Drake London,
Cooper Kupp. I would take Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp scares me because he's injury prone too.
I take Cooper Kupp like 3 years ago.
One season.
I take him 3 years ago.
Running back. One season. I mean, I like Derrick Henry as a running back.
Yeah, that's a layup.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, so I mean,
my running backs are weak.
Was
my running backs are weak, but I got three starting running backs. You have Najee Harris, who shouldn't be.
His flex, baby.
Although that is the name of my fantasy team in Al's league is Najee Germany.
Yeah, I saw that. But to answer you guys' question, to be honest, your teams are pretty even. Like, I'm not even I can't even lie. They are pretty, very close.
My fantasy name in my league is very inappropriate.
Yours is very. I can say mine. Mine is just Good Woodhead. Yours is very inappropriate. We won't say yours.
I can't. I would say a lot of foul things on the air. I can't say this on the air.
All we'll say is that Young Ho Koo is a part of his thing.
Yeah.
So
Amin Ra.
Yeah.
And then Young Ho Koo.
They can put it together. Okay, so you think it's pretty evenly matched, Al? All right. Look, see, your team was so fucking bad that Al just had to dip out.
Really? Because we listed off yours last. So.
All right, Al. So you think that they're close? You think they're close together? All right, cool. All right.
He's too diplomatic. He knows.
Yeah, we'll give weekly updates when it starts to see how it's going. Obviously, when we face off, it'll be a grudge match.
Just saw the notes.
I hope there's one week where Liam plays you in that league, and then Liam plays me in our league. I hope that happens.
Let's make it work.
Glorious.
Let's make it work. All right. Real quick. Not real quick, but preseason game 2. Patriots lost. Cool, whatever. Gerard Mayo said, the first loss stings. Like, I get it, but this doesn't even really matter for anything. Storylines coming out of the game. There's obviously the Drake Maye one that I think will lead into like the probably the final topic, because I do also want to hit on Judon too. But kind of first thoughts other than Drake Maye from you guys watching this game.
Let me take this one because it's super quick. It's all I have to say here.
Mm-hmm.
I was right. I will not stand or give any credit to this shitty, awful, fucking atrocious offensive line until I see them play halfway decent. Start to finish, it was a dog show. They just completely sucked. Not like a dog show like dogs, like a Michael Vick dog show where he fucking drowns them in a bucket. They were absolutely terrible from start to finish. All three offensive lines terrible.
No, there were bright spots. The starting
Hardly.
line, the starting line was fine. I also have
Drake
some words.
He was running for his the starting line was okay.
The starting one was fine. I have some words about Vidarian Lowe as well because I know he's getting shit on. He is improving. He had 2 bad plays. That's it. And then obviously
a lot more than 2 bad plays.
No, he had 2 bad plays. If you watch, I rewatched it because I just want Patriots football this bad that I had to watch a fucking preseason game. Okay, O-line sucks. That's your takeaway. Before we kind of get into a little more, Al.
Here it is. Hold on. Vidarian Lowe.
There we go.
1 sack, 1 QB hit, 2 pressures, 1 penalty.
Yeah.
67.5 grade.
Yeah. Let me ask you, because I'm actually genuinely asking. So you said he has a hit, a sack, a pressure. If you give up a sack on a play, does that also count as a pressure in a hit?
No, it does not count as a hit. It counts as a pressure.
Counts as a pressure. Okay, cool. So there's really just 1 pressure, 1 hit in a sack.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Okay, don't besmirch the man's name just
He's
for your
good.
Your folly.
Everyone else was terrible.
Do you hear my fucking words, by the way? Folly. I've watched Lord of the Rings today, so I got all these words. Oh God, yeah. The Joker 2. That movie's gonna suck.
Yeah, it is. Is it a musical?
Yeah, it like half is. And like my issue with we're not even gonna get into it because I could talk about comics. It's not a Joker movie. It's just a movie about a mental patient. Al, thoughts on the preseason game 2?
I'll give 2 really quick points. Number 1, to Liam's offensive line point. If David Andrews goes down, this team is screwed at center. I'm going to say that right now.
Thank you.
And I know it's a preseason game, but the fact that the backup centers can't properly hike the ball to the quarterbacks and it's a fumble, and the fact that Bailey Zappi lost the game because he had a bad snap that had no chance of getting to him. Mm-hmm. Again, if David Andrews is out, that center position is going to be really, really ugly. Just going to put that out there. And number 2, Javon Baker, we continue to see kind of the Jekyll and Hyde ways with him. You saw that 3rd and 6, kind of the in cut toward the middle of the field. Great completion and great conversion by Drake Maye to Javon Baker on that play. But then the deep ball that Drake Maye so beautifully put right in Baker's hands, and he got both hands on it.
He had to lay out for it, but it was a beautiful pass.
He did, and he had to survive the ground. And in this league, if you're gonna be a top-notch receiver, you got to make those plays. Again, he's a rookie. He's young. He'll learn.
I'd rather him do it in the preseason.
But again, and you saw it a little bit in the Carolina game too. Had a couple attempts to him, didn't really corral a lot of passes in, but we're gonna see a couple games with Javon Baker this year where he has 2 games where he does nothing, and then week 3 when they play the Jets, he's gonna have like 2 touchdowns. It's just gonna happen. That's the way it's gonna be drawn up.
Sounds like a bet right there.
No, I'm not betting that. Yeah. I gotta save some bullets for football season.
Well, I'm saying, like, when football season comes around, you should bet on that game. Say 2 touchdowns. Put your money where your mouth is.
I agree with the Baker stuff. Yeah, that was a rough drop. But I mean, again, like he has hands. It's just kind of like Mayo said, where it's like you've seen him catch the ball. It's just I don't know, rookie diving catch. It was tough. Like we've seen pros drop those balls before. So not that Baker's not a pro. You know what I'm saying? Like veterans drop that before. My thoughts, and I guess that this will lead into the Judon thing. I'm not worried about Judon being gone whatsoever. Keon White, sack. Dietrich Wise, sack. Anthony Jennings, sack.
Why is Dietrich Wise playing so much in the preseason? He had a sack in the first game too, in like the 3rd quarter, and I'm like, why is this guy in? He's a starter.
And I think it's one of those things where he probably asked to play. I would assume. I don't know. Don't care though. Sure, get your shit off. Go ahead. But you saw Keon.
Didn't Uche have one too?
Uche had one as well, I believe. So maybe it was Uche instead of Jennings. I forget which one, but maybe it was both. I don't remember between those ones. But my point is Keon White is the guy. He's the guy we thought he was. He's going to take that 2nd year jump. It's like what's his name?
They are who we thought they were.
He is who we thought he is. Keon White, that no glove wearing monster son of a bitch. If you're watching his plays, he's either getting double teamed or he's pushing his blocker back or just straight up beating his blocker.
Yeah.
Like he is a monster. I saw a couple blitzes that were timed pretty well too. So I like that, the defense is still staying kind of aggressive, but yeah, my expectations about this defense did not lessen since Judon's gone. Now that I actually saw
the
them
defense
play,
looked good, even into the game. Like the third string guys just looked in sync.
Yeah.
Clearly they still have the Belichick thing going on where they all know how to play defense as a unit, which is glorious. We can stay on the defensive thing if you guys want, but I also wanted to pull it back where we talk about wide receivers. My buddy texted me, Jalen Polk is better than Devontae Smith. He had 2 catches for 6 yards. He made
that
2
one
guys
play,
miss.
that one
he
catch.
made 2 guys miss for a 2-yard
good.
gain, which was really sick.
Dude, he's going to be good. I can't wait. He's going to be good.
That's the thing. I know he didn't play a ton, but Baker is the one who's kind of been he's had more flair. What do we think about Polk? Just preseason.
Polk, I think the fact that no one's talking about him, but when they do, it's just like, oh yeah, another. It's just another good day from Polk. Nothing.
But it hasn't been a
crazy.
Good day. He didn't have a good game 1. He didn't have a good.
No,
game
well, I mean, when you're talking about that, I don't even think that the stats game 1 stuff that to me, the ball isn't getting thrown to you. Whatever. The first game was wet too, so I know a lot of people. Whatever it is,
you know who the ball is getting thrown to?
Who?
Booty.
So we'll talk about him in a second. But Polk, I'm good. I'm happy with him. I think he's going to fit in right between that Pop Douglas, Kendrick Bourne group when Bourne does come back. I'm talking about. I'm not worried at all about him. I think the fact that no one is really talking about him is good, not bad in this case.
Right. I think the 5 receivers that we should see play the most amount of snaps this year: Pop Douglas, Javon Baker, Jalen Polk. Oh my gosh, I just had them in my head. And then KJ Osborne.
Oh yeah, he's on.
And then Kendrick Bourne.
So
those should be your 5 receivers, the main guys that you use. You want to sprinkle in Kayshon Boutte, okay, fine. You want to sprinkle in Tyquan Thornton a little bit, okay, fine. Maybe
you try to be said for Boutte being sprinkle Boutte in.
Yeah, let's get into it.
He's been the best receiver of the preseason.
Kayshon Boutte, much like Joe Milton, has earned that third, and we're going to talk about Joe Milton before we get into Judon.
Oh, I know we are.
Much like he's solidified his third quarterback role, I think that Boutte earned a spot on this team. Even honestly, if you want to, I don't want to say it, but if you wanted to put him over KJ Osborne, I wouldn't fight you on. Now, I would definitely have a differing opinion, maybe, but Boutte has showed up. He had that nice one-handed catch. Everybody's going to talk about that.
So
cool.
Sick.
That was very good. But I'm not just the contested catches he's making. It just seems like he's running crisp routes. It seems like it's like the Jay-Z song. I think I got my swagger back. The Otis song with him and Kanye. It seems like Boutte is kind of back to what we thought he should be. Al, how do you feel about Boutte? Because I don't think you were the biggest. I think Liam and I were the big Boutte boys here.
You were.
Really. You're not a huge fan of Boutte.
Kayshon Boutte, no. But with Kayshon Boutte,
Al's an ass man.
Again, I think he has made a case for himself to be on this roster. He has. Again, like I said a couple minutes ago, do I think that it's in a starter capacity where he's playing 60, 70, 80% of the snaps? No, I don't. I just think there's better receivers on the roster. But if you want to, if you have a red zone situation and you want a contested catch situation, maybe you throw a fade to the corner of the end zone, you kind of lob it up and hope that Kayshon Boutte can make a play. All right, fine. But I think to expect him to go out and have a really productive season, I think that's another conversation that you're going to have later. But I think as far as making the roster, yeah, he's done enough at this point. Put him on.
Yeah, I don't think that just targets wise that he'll even be able to, unless people get injured and stuff like that. I don't think that he's going to leapfrog. Yeah, someone is going to get injured, But even then, I don't think that he's going to leapfrog enough people to get like that big target, like the amount of targets to make that that impact. So I do think that he is going to be more of like your selective guy when he's in there. Hopefully he does well. Since he's not going to get that many opportunities, I hope he doesn't fuck up, because at that point it's going to be like all the goodwill that he's earned now, it's going to go all down the drain if on a big 3rd and 7 against the Chiefs and you have a chance to get into field goal range, he drops it.
He doesn't get his feet down.
Yes, something stupid like that. Or like that's just not going to work. But I got high hopes for Booty, but I think if he doesn't put it together here, I think at the end of the year you just be done with him. There's no reason to have him anymore.
I'm not ready to give up on him.
I am after this. Liam, how'd Joe Milton look?
He did the best with what he got. He tried. It was a valiant effort. He went out there, and as our folks' generation would say, he gave it the old college try. Like he went out there and he fucking tried. But like I said, like this offensive line is shit. He was working with some absolute squids, and he's a big fucking target. Mm-hmm. And he had an issue with the snaps too.
Yeah, everyone did basically. Yeah.
And it's just like, back to the snap point real quick. Like if you make it to the NFL and you cannot snap the ball, like I understand it's a chemistry thing. Like that's why, backup quarterbacks take snaps with the starting center and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But what the fuck? Like it's how you start a play. That's how a play gets initiated, and you can't start a play. You can't do fucking anything. But yeah, no, I digress. Like the 2 passes Joe Milton completed were fucking dimes. Like
that one incompletion was good down the right sideline to David Wallace,
100%
Office fame. Yeah.
He did the best he could.
He did. All I gotta say is you got to get down. Don't get your Josh Allen disease where you think that you can just take on every tackler coming at you. Like get down a little bit more.
6'5".
But I get that it's preseason. You're trying to make a name, like you're trying to make the roster, even though we think you've already solidified that spot. But yeah, I just think that Joe Milton he just came back down to earth. That's all. I think a lot of the Milton suckers, as I call them out there, they kind of, came up for air a little bit this game. So, Al, what do you think of Joe Milton tonight, or that game, not tonight?
I mean, 2 for 7, 20 yards. I mean, the stats don't say everything. They don't.
No, you're right.
But again, it is what it is. I mean, he's competing for a 3rd quarterback job. That's what he's competing for.
As far as you know.
And I've said it. Will you give it up?
Just keep an open mind.
He shouldn't be competing for the job anymore, for being honest.
I know.
Why is Zappy still on the team?
I think it's just so that way the other guys don't get hurt going into the regular season. I think what's going to happen is, and I know we're going to, not to jump ahead, but with the last preseason game against the Commanders, we're probably going to see, Jacoby Brissett for a little bit, then Drake Maye, then you're probably going to see a lot of Joe Milton and Bailey Zappi to kind of end it, because Gerard Mayo did say today in a press conference that if you're healthy, you're going to play in that last preseason game. So
hell yeah, give me some Hunter Henry. So
hopefully he's ready to go.
Dude, just one drive. I just want to see Hunter Henry out there.
I know.
The top 5 tight ends and the top 6 tight ends in the league. Let's go.
There's not even 6 good tight ends. So.
I know, that's why he's the top. He's my backup in fantasy. That's how deep my fucking team is. Yeah, that's
Travis
right. We
Kelce's
go deep.
Washed.
We go deep like Lexington.
You hate
Steel,
Travis
bitch.
Kelce.
I hate Tyreek Hill. I hate my team. I hate Kyler Murray. I hate the Eagles.
Why. I think Kyler Murray's the man.
I hate a lot of my team, but fantasy, there's money on the line. We got to do it. All right. Any final thoughts about this game before we get into Judon?
Not about the game, but I did have somebody who I was going to take with my 1st round pick, but he got taken, and I was very angry. Instead of AJ Brown, I had, just like draft day, I had this guy's name written on a piece of paper.
Always take whoever.
It was Marv, no matter what. I was going to take Marvin Harrison. It was a layup. And then my Connor Strayer actually took him, that fucking
Yep.
douchebag. I'm so furious. So actually, also, I'm looking for a new Patriots co-host. If anyone would like to join me on that, Al, if I'm completely open. It's just me now. I promptly told him he's fired, and that if he wins the matchup with me because of Marvin Harrison, I know where he lives. I'm going to burn his
That'd be
fucking house
hilarious.
down.
Imagine if
Oh,
it's like a
gosh.
late game touchdown to
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison
I'm up
Jr.
like 7, and Marvin gets like 10 points. I'll scalp him and then shoot myself.
Scalp yourself while shooting him.
Mm.
Yeah, Al, you have anything about this game?
No,
Anything
just
else?
no. I mean, the Eagles didn't play any of their starters. Let's move on.
No, yeah, and of
I
course, yeah, that's
I
another
I
thing.
did
Like,
want to
take it
say
with a
though,
grain of salt.
if we're giving like an Eagles perspective here, Kenny Pickett's the worst football fucking player I've ever seen in my life. Like
He's pretty bad.
he's atrocious. Like watching him play football is like watching old people fuck. Like it's just
Yeah.
completely unbearable. There's absolutely no intrigue to it whatsoever. It was awful. I
Remember when
went,
Pittsburgh thought he was the answer?
He was the guy. Yeah, he was the guy who was going to
oh
take
my
over for Big
God.
Ben. Yeah.
Which, like, if
They
your
still don't
quarterback
know.
wears gloves on both hands, you should know that's just not going to work out. It's
There's
never
one
worked out.
quarterback in the history of quarterbacks that's ever been worth anything with 2 gloves, and it's a part of his name, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy
And
Bridgewater.
even
He wasn't
kind
that
of sucked.
he wasn't that good.
Peyton Manning in his last year wore the 2 gloves because he lost his
Sucked.
zip on the ball. He was
Yep.
fucking terrible.
No matter what, everybody. Yeah. So again, like these preseason games, you got to take it with a grain of salt because you have not everybody starting and all that. But I do think that you can put weight on certain things, and I think this was a good showing for everybody. In particular, Drake Maye. We'll get to him towards the end of the podcast, but Matthew Judon, the saga is over. He got traded to the Atlanta Falcons for a 3rd-round pick, top 100 pick of next year's draft. I guess it just came out today that it was between the Bears and the Falcons, and they kind of let Judon pick. Judon obviously being from Atlanta, or from Georgia. I don't know if he's from Atlanta or whatever. He's from the area. So he picked Atlanta. So they sent him over to him, to the Falcons. I kind of already gave my thoughts about it initially. Like, I'm not worried about the team anymore. Like the defense, just kind of seeing them play together, seeing how they look. What are your opening thoughts of the Judon trade? Like, I think we all kind of expected this to happen. But what are your thoughts about it now that it's official?
Judon's from Baton Rouge.
Is it?
Shit.
All right, whatever. We
from
get
the
the
area.
point.
The
From
red
the
enough.
stick.
So
It's like being from New Hampshire and you say Mass is your home, whatever.
Sure.
So I'll take the reins on this because I put out a thought on Twitter with this, and I'll echo it. From the fan perspective, it sucks, right? Because Matthew Judon was the face of the Patriots for the last 3 years, especially after the Brady era, and there was nobody really in 2020. Yes, I know. Insert Cam Newton compliment here. We're not doing that anymore. Like the last 3 years, the true post Brady era, you needed a face. You needed someone that embodied Patriot culture. And that's what Matt Judon was, right? He was a leader on the field. He was productive on the field, had double-digit sacks in his first 2 full seasons here in New England. And it looked like last year he was going to be on that same track again. And then granted, he gets hurt in the Dallas game. But, and just he became a fan favorite. I mean, he's throwing, footballs around with the kids at training camp, playing catch before the game. Like, he was just so likable and he was so raw and so authentic. That's why Patriots fans loved him. So you can have that side. But on the other side, there's the business aspect, right? Look at the difference between Judon and Devon Godchow, right? They were in a similar situation. They both needed contracts. What did Judon do? Spoke about it publicly, aired it out. Godchow, yes, he did too, but he did it once. He just said, I'd like to have a contract. And then he got to work. And then what happened? Elliott Wolf and Drew Rosenhaus got together. They got a deal done for Godchow. He's here for the next year or 2. Great.
It was more respectful. Yep.
More respectful. Exactly. When Matt Judon had that day at training camp, it was the Monday of that week where he had the day where he was animated and everything. That sealed his fate right there. Because again, and I said this a couple weeks ago, what kind of message are you sending to a new locker room, a new culture, if it's, I can bitch my way into a new contract. I don't have to work hard. I can just publicly bicker and batter and go back and forth. They'll give me what I want. they had to do this move. And it sucks that I have to say that, but they had to do this move because they extended everybody else. They wanted everybody else here. And they said, Matt Judon is not going to be a part of the next great Patriots team because it's probably going to be a 3 to 5 year rebuild in their eyes. So you know what? Let's get something for him. I said to you guys in the group chat, it's probably going to be a third or a fourth. I was dead on, pat on the back to me. A third round pick, we'll take that. And you have to use it. And you know what? Maybe you use the third round pick in a future trade. I hear CeeDee Lamb could potentially be available, which I would love. Yeah, I know, Liam, Cowboys. Oh, Cowboys player. Oh no. But again, this is the point.
So good.
You got something for him. He was great here. You appreciate him. You love him. I'm going to root for him in Atlanta, him personally, because I love the player.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it had to be done, and you got something for him. So thanks, Matt Judon. Appreciate you. You're the best. You were great here for 2.5 years, but it was best for everybody.
Yeah. Liam, what do you think about it? Respond to Al.
I was just as, ready to see him go as anyone else. But you never really know how you're going to feel about something until it happens. And when it happened, I was more sad than I was happy to see him go, even without the distraction. I agree with Al wholeheartedly. Like, you're trying to set a precedent for the future of the organization going forward, yada, yada. And I agree with all that jazz. And it is a good point when you're building an organization. But goddamn, like, it is really sad to see him go. He was the only person who actually seemed like very fucking psyched to be a Patriot in a long time, especially when down the stretch Tom Brady wasn't even very psyched to be a fucking Patriot. And we got this guy who was yeah, exactly. And we got a guy who is very much excited to be so. And it did seem like he wanted to be here for the rest of his career. And he said so many times in many interviews in the years that he was doing well. And it sucks. And then to see that tweet where he's like, is it possible to fail a physical because of a broken heart? Like that one hurt.
In
like
my heart.
Yeah, it plucked the heartstrings a bit. And you're just like, like in a perfect world, I wish the world was like that. The world's not a wish granting factory. And most of the time I'm happy it isn't, but in this circumstance, I wish it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna, listen, guys, I wish I could be on the same thing as you. I think Tom Brady leaving has permanently calloused me to the majority of players leaving. If your name isn't James White, or David Andrews, that'll be the only other guy.
That'll be
listen.
Tough.
Like I felt little to nothing when it comes to like emotionally. Don't get me wrong, still love Judon like you guys did. Like great, like awesome. Al, you said you saw videos of him playing catch with the fans before games, before training camp, like. But it's just like Liam, he seemed excited to be here. Him and Kendrick Bourne are really like the two guys who spearheaded that. Like, we're excited to be a Patriot, kind of bring in some people if you can. But like, listen, man, like you came in and I think I just put the Patriots first to the point where the second that you start trying to one up the team or have any sort of public leverage, which I know it's a bullshit thing for me to think because players should have leverage and they should be able to do that. But in my eyes, like then I'm like, listen, no, maybe it's just 23 years of Bill Belichick drilling it in our heads. But I'm just like, no, the second you're like that, be gone. And this is another thing. I saw people on Twitter being like, God damn, don't you guys now miss the days of Belichick and all that? Hey, numbnuts. Belichick would have done this trade 4 or 5 weeks ago. Belichick would not have signed Judon to a contract. He would not have put up with him sitting on a bunch of mats, tossing a football around and all that stuff. He would not have put up with this stuff. So I think this is such a Belichick type move where I think this is Mayo kind of putting his dick on the table. Like, listen, if you don't want to play ball, and I know it's Elliott Wolf too, it's both of them, but Mayo had some sort of input on it. But I guess we'll just say Elliott Wolf because he's the one who makes the decisions. Who's like, listen, man, if you don't want to play ball or take a little bit of a pay cut for reasons X, Y, and Z, we get it. We wish you the best. We'll send you to who you want. But like, you're not. Judon isn't a guy, and it's weird to say he's not a guy who's going to be a part of your 3, 4, 5 year plan. He's just not. He's 32 coming off a bicep injury. Like he probably has a season and a half more of like really good football left in him.
Yeah. And as sports fans, we don't want to be rational, but that is the absolute, like, that's the reality of it.
Yeah, it sucks. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand that it sucks because like the way I was looking at it, where like if you just take out the fact, not even that it's Judon, if you just take out the fact that say he wasn't as liked as much as he is, he was just a guy like kind of like Devin Godchow, where it's like like we like him, but like there's nothing crazy. If Godchow got traded, okay, like that sucks. He was good. People would talk more about the on the field stuff. People wouldn't be as pissed off about it though. I think the reason why fans got so kind of mixed about this was just because he was such a fan favorite, which makes sense. But for me, coming from someone who like, I will cut you off quicker than like Giselle cut off Brady. Like I do not like, once I can see a world without you, get out. Like I see Keon White coming. Choo choo, bitch, get off the tracks. Keon White's coming to town. Like I'm ready to go. And to Judon's credit today, I'm sure you guys saw a little bit, Al. I'm sure you saw a lot of it too, where Matt Judon talked glowingly about the Patriots. He talked about everybody from the front seven, basically saying like, listen, you're not going to replace Matt Judon, but you have person A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z coming in. Like he said that he's still going to have love here. He'll be back in New England at some point. Who knows what that means? Obviously not as a player, but I think he loved it here. And he said it from when he came here, where he came over from the Ravens and he was like, let me see what this shit is about. And I think he fell in love with New England, not just the team, but the place, which I think anybody who spends any amount of time in New England, you'll fall in love with it because it's a great place to be, live, awesome. Football. If you
coming
love
from
sports,
the kid who left.
I don't want, I'll be back. Trust me, I'll be back. It's if you love sports,
you and
like
Judon
does,
cryptic future.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you down the road. Like if you love sports, New England's the place to be. Judon is a sports guy. You guys see that bug that just flew into my camera?
Yeah, that was nasty.
Holy shit.
Fucking Florida.
I'm gonna get bit. But yeah, I don't know. That threw me off. But yeah, Judon, like, sucks that he's gone from a personality standpoint. But on the field wise, I think the defense is gonna be fine for the most part. So, thanks for everything, obviously. Good luck in Atlanta. Hope you have
the red
like a
sleeves very
season.
much fit now.
Great. Yeah, awesome. You went somewhere where you could keep the red sleeves. I'm sure he still would have, but it's good that you went somewhere
really
where
weird
you could
in Chicago.
Very weird with like the orange jerseys with red. That wouldn't
have
been weird.
Yeah. In the wise words of Dr. Seuss, though, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. He was fucking awesome.
What a way to end that topic. Goddamn. In the wise words of Dr. Seuss. But okay, another topic near and dear to my heart. It's sad, but I do think I have to hop off a bandwagon tonight. Now, you guys know how I feel about Bryce Behringer. It's my guy, Pro Bowler. Love him. His mate that he got drafted with in his draft, Chad Ryland. Chad Ryland, buddy, I'm sorry. You're going somewhere where I can't follow. Like Sam talking to Frodo in Lord of the Rings. You're going somewhere I can't follow. I can't do it, man.
You've watched.
I'm watching the show. I watched The Hobbit. I got so much free time on my hands.
The movies are sick.
I watched Prometheus. I'm gonna watch another Alien movie. I got so much time.
Prometheus is horrifying.
Love it. It's a crazy movie. I forgot how good it was.
No, that is a dark, twisted fucking movie. That movie
it is, where she cuts out the alien from her stomach and the thing. But yeah, Chad Ryland, buddy, I will be with you as long as you give me reasons to be. Joey Sly and his jacked up Kenny Chesney looking arms. You guys will get the Kenny Chesney reference because people.
I'm going to the concert next week.
Yeah. Oh, well, good for you. Good for you. Tell him that tell him that I said hello. Yeah, Joey Sly, he seems to be the guy. And
I actually think he looks like Kenny Chesney.
No, but that's remember, isn't that who?
Yeah.
That's who Al's house guest said that I looked like.
Yeah. She's clearly dumb.
Well, we'll see. We'll
Easy.
see. We'll see when we go. When
I
we
mean,
go to our
dumb as in
housewarming party, how she
deaf and
feels.
dumb. Like she's not deaf, but she's
Here,
dumb.
Mike, can you move on?
I'm gonna cut him off. I'm gonna cut him off. But
through the screen.
Chad Ryland seems to have lost his job to Joey Slye. Do you guys have any thoughts on it? I think it's a point to bring up because Chad Ryland was kind of the reason we had the third pick. But also the reason the Giants didn't have the third pick. So kind of helped us out there. Thoughts on Chad Ryland seemingly losing his job?
All I'm going to say is thanks for missing that kick against the Giants. Because imagine if the Giants were trying to get Drake May. They loved him so much too. And the Patriots were like, nope.
Dayball wanted him, that bald boy.
Let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Oh God. Okay.
We would have got Joe Milton regardless.
Okay. All right. I mean, there's really kind of the topic that really brings us here. That's going to lead us throughout the entire season. It goes all the way back to preseason game 2 last week. Drake May looked damn good in his debut. He got a lot more than 7 snaps, which we were all hyped about. We actually posted from the Tuck Rule Takes account. We were all hyped about Drake May getting some snaps there. We were all pumped about it. I don't care about his stats. I don't have him in front of me. I think he threw for like 47, 67 yards or something like that. Don't really care. What I care about, you had Drake May instantly, and the crowd is going to get hyped for him because he's Drake May. He's the rookie. He's exciting, whatever. They did the same thing for Mac Jones, kind of, which, by the way, this Drake May, Jacoby Brissett reminds me of Mac Jones, Cam Newton. That's not a shot at Cam Newton. No, just saying this is the situation it reminds me of. Drake May in that preseason game showed decent awareness, good footwork, some good balls he was throwing. He took off a couple times. In fact, his run was a zone read, which is something we all wanted Mac Jones to do more. So it's kind of a sign you have an actual offensive coordinator now. And then I guess throughout practice today and yesterday, he just seems more confident. That's what everybody seems to be saying. Like Jacoby Brissett is still out there doing his thing, which, by the way, he did not have a good preseason game. Threw a pick in the end zone, almost threw another pick. He had someone around his legs. He threw one over the middle. It bumped off someone's hands, almost got picked off. But Drake May looks really good, guys. I think we officially have a QB competition. Al, you brought it up where Mayo was kind of like, because correct me if I'm wrong, guys, going into the preseason games, Mayo was like, Jacoby is our starter. Like he's the guy. But now Gerard Mayo today said, when I have my starter, I'll name him. There's 100% still a competition. Like, guys, like I said in the group chat, I'm not going to do my victory lap yet, but I feel like I'm revving up. Drake May starting week 1. What do you guys think of him right now coming out of the game? All the talk around him. Do you think he may start? Do you think he should? What do you think of him? I want to know what you guys think because I cannot contain my pants tent right now thinking about it. We're talking penises. We're talking dicks.
I'll say this. Do I think he should start? No. Not because I don't want him to start. I want him to start very badly. It should be, I'm a big believer in if you're better as a rookie, it's better to actually play as a rookie because you get all your mistakes out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
A la Peyton Manning in 1998, and then look at the years he had after.
Yep.
But with the current state of this offensive line and the uncertainty, especially with the tackles, that's a little scary. So do you wait until you think, all right, Drake May is 100% ready, this line can keep him upright? Or do you bite the bullet and you say, you know what? We're not going to really be good in 2024. Let's just have Jacoby here. We got him here for a year anyway. And then if we have another high draft pick, we can take the kid from LSU that's supposed to be an all-world tackle, Will something. I forget his last name.
Needs to be a tackle. That first pick, I think we can all agree, needs to be a tackle.
Unless it's Travis
Hunter.
Hunter.
Care what happens. Needs to be a tackle. Yeah.
Unless it's Travis Hunter. But, I mean, if he's good enough and you want to play him, fine. But just know that if you play him, yeah, he has better physical tools than Mac Jones, but you're putting him in a position similar to Mac Jones. And I would even argue it's a worse situation because remember in 2021, that line was a little bit more short up. It was a little bit more. It was a little better.
Trent Brown,
I
full
would
strength, was
even go as
healthy.
far as to say it was a
It was
pretty
good.
decent line.
It's a good line, yeah.
It was.
But the
It was a
weapons,
better.
that's the difference.
Mac Jones had a better line in his rookie season than Drake May would if he played this year. But I think talent-wise, Drake May has the way higher ceiling and is the more talented quarterback. But you got to put the pieces around him. You have to.
Yeah, Liam, Drake May.
So obviously he only played a few drives, but I will form my opinion with a lot of grains of salt, I guess. The most impressive play I saw from him all day, which I found to be actually a very impressive play. He got sacked by Nolan Smith, who's a fucking monster out of Georgia, absolute beast. And then 2 plays later, Drake May.
Was it Nolan Smith or Nakobe Dean?
No, Nakobe Dean's a middle linebacker. Nolan Smith's
yeah. Sorry, I love Nakobe Dean coming out, so I wanted the Patriots to take him. But
he's a beast.
Sorry, keep it. Yeah, Nolan Smith, got you.
So it's a naked bootleg to the left with Mitchell Wilcox is wearing 87, which is fucking disgusting. I can't believe anyone's wearing 87. I digress. Naked boot to the left. Mitchell Wilcox runs underneath out into the flat. It ends up being a 4-yard gain. But Nolan Smith unblocked off the edge right in Drake May's face, and he jumps and tilts and throws a Matt Stafford sidearm pass around what should have been a sack, around Nolan Smith to the flat to get it out to Mitchell Wilcox. Nasty play. Nasty play.
Good
the
ball.
Very next play was the booty one-handed catch, which was one of the worst fucking throws to the flat I've ever seen.
Not great.
It was a bad throw.
Not a great throw.
It was really bad. And it was closer than the Wilcox one, which made even less sense. But, I just think it's weird that he can't control his accuracy, because then he throws pass to the flat, the opposite side, a couple plays later to Jalen Polk on the money. Fucking seed right out to the flat. And it's perfect. So it's like, okay, the short accuracy issues might still be something to keep an eye on, because that was a big thing coming out of college. It's like, he can make all the deep passes, but for some reason he's inconsistent throwing short, which I guess he maybe puts too much mustard on it or something like that. But overall, the scrambles were impressive. He's like Mac Jones, like sneaky athletic, scrappy, hardworking white guy wwho goes out there and runs around.
He's a little more athletic than fucking Mac Jones. The throws to the flat, by the way, I equate that to Liam, you notoriously or infamously do not like baseball. Al, pitchers have the toughest time throwing to first base when a ground ball comes to them. No one knows why. It's crazy, but yet they can throw strikes, all this stuff. I think it's just like, it's such an easy pass that you almost, it just like gets in your head. It's almost like you overthink it somehow. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it will happen here and there, right? It's a weird thing.
Here, Mike, I'll give you a different baseball example real quick. It's like a shortstop.
Okay, fuck me then. You have a better one. Okay, sure.
I do. Baseball.
Fucking teacher Al, here he comes.
Yeah, baseball guy Al.
Baseball coach.
Baseball coach, exactly.
Tiny ball Al. That's what they call him on the streets.
It's like throwing a ball from shortstop to second base to start a double play. Yep. The arm angle, right? Because you're trying to stay low. You're trying to come through it.
They do all this weird shit. They
exactly. That's exactly what it was. It's that type of play.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's a tough play, but he did it really, really well.
Yeah, it's weird. But Liam, I didn't want to cut you off. I thought like it's a weird thing, but it's like such a weird thing across all sport. Like free throws should be the easiest thing ever.
Should be a layup.
But it's like, it's so weird. You get into your head. It's strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a layup. Free throw should be a layup. Good one.
It should be. Yeah. Even the
baseball?
Baker over the middle throw, he stared down the receiver the entire time. You obviously don't fucking do that. Like that's ugly. And it ended up working out. Like Baker fucking ran an incredible route and it was a good pass, but you don't stare down the fucking receiver. And the long ball was beautiful. Could have been more catchable, but it got there and it was fucking pretty. And we've seen many of the great quarterbacks make throws like that, and their receivers usually come down with it. So circumstance obviously didn't fucking catch it. If he completed it, everyone would have said it's a sick pass. But overall, liked what I see and didn't like what I see. I was impressed.
Yeah,
I was satisfied.
And
I will say I was satisfied.
Exactly. I think everybody was like, you know what, this is what we wanted to see. And I think the difference, Al, to bring up when you said, do you start him? because like you don't want to have what happened with Mac Jones, which if you don't like Mac Jones had a good O-line, but not great weapons. I think Drake Maye has better weapons, but obviously a worse offensive line. But I just think that the mental makeup between the two is completely different. And call it what you want, but if you look at Drake Maye's family, they remind me of the fucking Gronkowskis, where they're just a bunch of doofs. Like you see them on the sideline, they're just a bunch of like idiots. We're like, so I think it starts there where, and I'm looking way too into it, like going to his family and that shit. But like, it just seems like Drake Maye mentally is more prepared. And this is something that we have zero way of knowing until it happens. Like no one knows other than Drake Maye and maybe his coaches. But I just feel like Drake Maye would be able to deal with that shoddy offensive line. Because again, Cole Strange is not playing, which is fine. Cole Strange comes in, you plug him in, maybe you move Onwenu to right tackle, keep him at right tackle, put Okorafor to left. I don't, or put Onwenu to left
Somebody
tackle,
fix this.
Whatever you want to do. And granted, I think when it's all said and done, the only real hole is going to be the left tackle. Because I think if you have City David Andrews, Mike Onwenu, Okorafor, or Caden Wallace, whichever one, but I think it's going to be Okorafor at right tackle. Like, I think that's a good four. Then when Cole Strange comes back, you plug him in and it just gets better. I think you can help out Vidarian Lowe. I don't think he had a horrible game. He definitely has some glaring things. And when you're the left tackle, you're every one of your, that's why my dad notoriously hated Matt Light. Even though Matt Light is one of the greatest left tackles in Patriots history, he hated him just because the mistakes as a left tackle are more glaring than that of like a right guard, because you can kind of be like, whatever, there was a stunt, whatever it was. But I just think that Alex Van Pelt, Drake Maye, Gerard Mayo, the offense, chipping them, whatever, to block whoever Vidarian Lowe has. I think you can kind of make up for that until Vidarian Lowe figures his shit out, which he has improved a little bit. Like I said, he's not great. No one will ever say he's not even good. He might just be average, but an average left tackle in a good rest of your offensive line, I think you have to start Drake Maye. Again, if he's starting, of course, I want him to start, but if he's not ready, don't start him. So it kind of comes down to, do you think he's going to be ready?
Showing, like, he did some fine things, but no, he's not going to be ready. Play Jacoby. He threw that ugly pick in the end zone.
Not good. I think that's what we're seeing.
No, he's totally fine. Also, in that pass where he threw an interception, pressure right up the middle. None of the guards could block fucking anything.
Also missed Taekwondo. You want to know what I want to do? And I want to start with you, Liam. Make a case for and against Drake Maye. If you want to make the case for him, we'll make the case for him right now. We'll go around round table to all of us and then make the case against him. And I want to just kind of see how strong each case is. Because I do think that there's a case for both. Like, don't get me wrong. Even though I've been Drake Maye start week 1 since they drafted him.
Well, there's going to be a lot of
repetitive
arguments.
There might be. Yeah.
So
how about we give one reason each?
Yeah.
For each one.
Or I was going to say, somebody just take a side here.
Oh, I'll go for.
I'll go against.
Obviously. Okay.
All right. I'll be the mediator.
All right.
There you go. Get your chance, Liam.
Right. So we'll start. We'll start.
I'll go first. I'll give you the benefit of going second now.
Thank you.
Right. I think that's better. And again, listen, and this isn't a part of the debate. This is just out. Like, I don't, real talk, whether he starts or not, if he's ready, he should. If he's not, he shouldn't. But the reason he should, listen, I think if you are trying to attract receivers or weapons next year, you can't sell them again on the promise of Drake Maye. Because what happened this year when you tried to get Brandon Ayuk or Calvin Ridley, or anything like that? They didn't want to come here because Jacoby Brissett isn't pulling anybody's pants off. But the promise of Drake Maye, it's like, yeah, you see it. But what Drake Maye comes in and he has some great throws. You see, these receivers don't necessarily care if the quarterbacks are still good right now. You have Brandon Ayuk that wanted to go to the Steelers with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. They just want to know that you could throw. They want you to have the swag, the aura. That's the big word nowadays, aura. Getting Drake Maye in there to show potential free agents or trade prospects what he is, I think that's a really big thing. Also, Al, you mentioned it. Getting real game time, I think that is invaluable. Now, again, if the game time is you getting pummeled, then we'll have a different discussion. But I just don't think that's going to happen. We saw Drake Maye in a preseason game when Vidarian Lowe, by your guys' accounts and other people's, he didn't have a great game, but it was serviceable. And Drake Maye still had a decent game for the drives that he had. So I think if you had him in there with the ones, David Andrews, a center that can snap the ball, arguably the most important piece on this offense, Ramondre Stevenson back there. Like if you have him in there with the ones, Pop Douglas, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, you got to get him in. And then the other thing, the fan base, like that is still an important thing that you have to nurture. Right now, Patriots fans are not high on this team. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to watch because we are still a sports region. We love to hate our teams and we love to love them. But if you can start to build something, where like Josh Allen played a little bit his first few years, he sucked, but then something clicked and he became Josh Allen. You got to get him. You're going to have to pull the trigger eventually. And this is all assuming he wins the job. Like, I'm not saying put him in if he's not ready. Like, if he is ready, there's no reason to not put him in. Like, I know injuries, but like injuries can happen anytime. So I just think you got to play him. And that's
not to make Al's point here. I'm just going to debunk that first one because I don't think it was a good point. The whole you want to get free agents next year, so you want to show what Drake Maye can do. No, it's not a good point. Keyshawn Johnson has said many times that his biggest regret was not signing. Was not signing with the Colts the year before they drafted Reggie Wayne on them, and he was like, I didn't want to go there because frankly Peyton Manning looked terrible. The Colts organization didn't look like they knew what was going on. So if Drake Maye goes out there and doesn't play well, we're definitely not getting any fucking free agents. So
true, I get it, and that's also me thinking if he goes out there, he's going to play well. Now the left tackle thing is different. If he's judging that, I'm also not going to take the word of someone who signed on to argue with Skip Bayless for 8 months before Skip Bayless got
money's
ousted.
tight. You never know. I bet you would sign on to argue with Skip Bayless.
Well, of course I would. But that's different. Exactly, I'm not whatever. But yeah, that's my thing. I like him. Al, what do you think? Why do you hate Drake Maye?
I don't hate Drake Maye in the slightest. I'm going to start my argument with a quick quote. Failure to prepare is preparing for failure. The reason that I say this is because you need to make sure that Drake Maye has all the tools necessary in order to succeed. Because let's think about this, right? Let's go back to Mac Jones' rookie year for a second. There are some similarities, right? Hunter Henry was there for both quarterbacks. Kendrick Bourne was there for both quarterbacks. Ramondre Stevenson was there for both quarterbacks. I understand that. But you had a younger Hunter Henry, a younger Kendrick Bourne. You had Nelson Aguilar. You had Jonnu Smith. You still had Josh McDaniels as a proven offensive coordinator. You had pieces in place to help Mac Jones. And by the way, Mac Jones the year before in college, won a national championship in a pro-style offense in Alabama, right? So he was ready to go to the NFL. He was ready to take on an offense. Drake Maye, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what offense they're running at North Carolina, but I can guarantee you. What's that?
No clue.
Eric
Coryell. Okay. But even still, right? That type of offense, like you want to see that in the NFL, obviously, but look at the other pieces that Drake Maye has that Mac Jones didn't have to deal with. 2 rookie receivers, a rookie tight end that maybe he finds his way into some second team snaps. Who knows? You have an offensive coordinator that has never been an offensive coordinator before. He wasn't an offensive coordinator in Cleveland, Van Pelt. He was just an offensive assistant. You have a different quarterbacks coach. You have different pieces in place. And then all of a sudden, and to Mike's point, the one thing I'll say is if Drake Maye is significantly better than Jacoby Brissett, like it's not even close, then play him. But if they're close at all, or it's dead even, you have Brissett for 1 year.
If you have any second thoughts.
If you have any second thoughts at all, you play Brissett, you give Drake Maye a clipboard and a headset, and you say, watch what's going on, because in 2025, you're going to have to know this. Or if Jacoby goes down, you're going to have to know this. What is the big deal about sitting for a year, Which, by the way, one more comparison I'm going to make. That 2021 team, they were good enough to make the playoffs. And what they do, they made the playoffs. This team is going to be lucky if they get close to 500. A lot of people are projecting they're going to have another top 3 pick this year. So if that's the expectation, then why not get everything in order? Oh, and one last thing. You have about $50 million in cap space. So you have potential to sign guys. You have potential to try to sign guys to make it even better for Drake Maye. So to kind of wrap all of it up, not all the pieces are in place yet. Let Drake Maye get more development under him. Let him see the game from the sideline first. Let Jacoby Brissett teach him what he knows after being in the league for 8 years. And then in 2025, it's full tilt Drake Maye.
Buddy, that was good.
Well,
I can't even front. That was good.
And I'm still not going to choose a winner because I'll be fair about this argument. I
Cause...
come in with clear bias, and unlike Al when he moderates debates, I'm going to try and be civil, and I'm not going to choose a winner here.
Liam's going to be like, now let me give you the case for Joe Milton.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to be like, Al, damn, you actually put up a good argument there, and you had backed up with facts and points and shit.
I'm not stubborn. I'm not spiteful. If I were to have to choose a winner at gunpoint, I'd choose Mike because Al's a snooty little cunt. But like,
that's nepotism right there.
But no, it's not. But it's not. No, nepotism. It's not. There's no nepotism, and certainly no favoritism. Like completely unbiased. Fuck you, Al. But like, could I make a case for Joe Milton?
No.
Why?
No, I really don't think you should.
Especially after you just called me those names. Absolutely not. No.
I mean the most endearing way possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. Kiss my ass.
The thing with Drake Maye, I think what we're all doing, because we are obviously the comparisons to Mac Jones are there, just because it's similar.
Yeah,
first year. White. You want to get him in. They're white. They're both kind of goofy a little bit.
Both more number 10.
Jesus, I wish he didn't have number 10. Any other number. I would take 19. Give me 19.
19's a badass number, but it's already reserved for our future Hall of Fame.
But oh my God, yeah, that is Joe Milton's number. Shit, I didn't even mean to do that. But like, it's just, I think that the makeup is different, and there's no real way of knowing it. It's just kind of like a thing. People think, you don't think, whatever it is. I just feel like Drake Maye could take a year here with a different offensive line. Not every weapon, but it just seems like him, Baker, and Pope, they're ready to usher in the new era of New England. Like, they seem ready. So I think like the three of them would somewhat keep each other up, So like, even if Drake Maye has a couple bad games, like I think just like the three of them are going to kind of foster that relationship with each other where they, rising tide raises all ships or whatever. I think that's going to be just like personality wise, optimism wise. They know that they're building something here. Javon Baker's comments, like when he got drafted, he knows where the Patriots are right now. Like they're kind of in the dumps a little bit. So that's why he said he's going to bring a dynasty back to New England and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and then Grant, just selfishly from a fan's point of view, it'd be more exciting to see Drake Maye play this year. Obviously. Now
I'm still super excited for remarkably average quarterback play.
I am very much, I think I'm not completely out on Jacoby, but like, buddy, like I'm just not going to be happy. Like if you start, like, it'll be cool. I won't be angry, but I'm not going to be like elated. Like before I was like you, Liam, as you know, we said it on this podcast where I was like, it's cool. Just give me average, competent quarterback play. But now I'm like, when you got a young gun who's waiting to go, who's back there revving up the engine, like let's let the new car, let's get some miles on the new car a little bit. Like, why are you rolling out this auto warranty car that's going to get you to where you need to go, but it's going to give you a little putt as you're going. The windows in the back don't roll up. The AC doesn't work. Like, give me the new car that might blow up. Give me the Tesla. That's what I want. Give me that. Give me that stupid ass Cybertruck. Even though I don't really I might not like some things about it. I'm ready to experiment. Let's go. I don't know. That's just my thought. The people who actively get angry at the thought of Drake Maye starting, that's the part that confuses me. Because like, what if he's starting? This coaching staff, this ownership, they're not incompetent. Like, they're not going to start him just to start him. You can tell how they've handled him so far. Mayo said they wanted to bring him along slowly, but things obviously change. So if he starts, they feel that he can start, that he's ready. Who are we, people who have a Patriots podcast, or some people who just tweet on Twitter every day about the Patriots? Who are we to say that we know more? Like, oh, he's not ready, whatever. You don't see him every play. Every bit of information we get is through the lens of someone with some sort of narrative of an opinion, whether it's good, bad, anything. The coaches are the only ones who are supposed to have and likely have the one narrative, which is team, team, team. If they start Drake Maye, we have to believe it's because they think he's ready. And that's the only way I want him to start. If he's not ready, don't start him. But don't be fucking angry that people are excited that Drake Maye might start, or that the coach or that Mayo's like, there's still a competition. Like, calm down, people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That part has always freaked me out, but it's just the people that are going to hate this team no matter what they do this year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What else you guys have on Drake Maye? You guys want to talk anything? Liam, I didn't know if you were looking anything up, anything you wanted to throw out. I figured, yeah. What's up?
It's not appropriate. I'll share it after the show.
I
was gonna use a word, but it doesn't mean what it sounds like. I'll tell you after the show.
Yeah.
I am very curious. But yeah, it's going to be I think that it's going to be a big week going into it. So we are playing the Commanders. What do you guys like? What do you guys think happens this week of practice, this Commanders game coming out of it? Like, just to kind of wrap up here, because I don't want to stay too long, but like, do you think that Drake Maye could win the job? How long do you think Brissett plays? Do you think if Brissett plays 2 or 3 drives, that's kind of a giveaway that there is some sort of a QB competition? Like, what are you guys looking for in this game? Or just kind of like closing thoughts on the game and everything?
We surely won't get it, but what I'm looking for is a very early, the first matchup between the second and third pick. Like, I hope they both play a lot at the same time.
Be awesome. I would love that,
because we're going to get a clear-cut winner.
They named Jadon Daniels as the
starter today.
As the starter, right? So I would assume that you're going to see both of them at some point at the same time. You would have to think that, right? So that'd be good. Al, going
and
into
in the preseason,
game,
it's like if one of them has one passing touchdown, they're probably going to be like the clear-cut winner of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to see not the Polk and the Douglases, but the guys that are on the fringe to try to get more snaps at wide receiver. Like, what does KJ Osborne do? What does Kayshon Boutte do? Does Tyquan Thornton make
Thank you. Is Tyquan Thornton?
I was gonna say,
he's doing things.
Is Tyquan Thornton gonna make one last push at a roster spot before inevitably he gets dropped to the practice squad? Like, what wide receiver is going to show up and say, you know what? And have Gerard Mayo be like, you know what? We need him. We need him to help out this offense. Because again, we know Douglas is going to be a lock. Polk's going to be a lock. Baker's pretty much a lock too. I mean, at this point, but
unless he royally fucks up,
right? Even Baker, I'd like to see a little bit more out of. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more. But again, those other guys, and I think Osborne's going to be a lock too. But again, like Boutte and Thornton, is someone going to separate themselves to be like, no, I need to be on this roster, or is it going to be lackluster? And it's like, you know what? We can survive with the 5 guys I said earlier, and then Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, and then we rely on Ramondre and Antonio Gibson for the run game. So that's what I'm looking for. What wide receivers separate themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of called it. I think it was last week. Everybody was like, Tyquan Thornton, he's showing up, all that stuff. Wasn't going to buy it then, and now what? He's kind of like, he's falling back to where he is. So I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Al, too. My thing, I just want to see more from the front 7. I want to see what guys show up. Because like I said, we saw Dietrich Wise, obviously, is going to be good. I want to see Keon White. He's my guy moving forward. Love him, number 99. Love that number as a defensive lineman. Love that, or linebacker, whatever you want to call him. I don't give a shit. I just want to see how they get pressure on a mobile quarterback in Jadon Daniels. I think that'll be good to see. And then I wonder if Jonathan Jones or Marcus Jones are going to play. I guess Mayo said that they're both coming back imminently, basically. So I want to see them play a little bit. Because I know a lot of the talk is on Christian Gonzalez. We still got two really good corners in Jonathan Jones and Marcus Jones too.
Yeah,
So that'd be interesting to see. But yeah, my thing is really just watching the defense. Obviously it is Drake Maye, but I'm not just gonna pick Drake Maye because that's low hanging fruit. I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, defense, I want to see them show up again. I want to see kind
You
of
can pick Joe Milton because
I
he's
mean-
going to be sick.
All right. You guys have anything else to say? Because I don't want to talk about Joe Milton again. We brought him up too much.
Just get me to the regular season.
I know, dude. We're almost there. We're almost
September
there.
5th, baby.
We're coming up. We're coming up. I can't wait. Can't wait. But yeah, so Tuck Rule Takes episode 140. What I say? 143. Yeah, we'll see you next week. I wonder if next week we come in if a starting quarterback is named. Might
Certainly
be
possible.
It might be. Who knows? Because it'll be the last preseason game will be done. Who knows if we'll want to do it then do cuts after. But we'll see. Lots to talk about. Can't wait. Football's back. Let's go. Tuck Rule Takes Sports Spider. We're here. All the things. Spider Sports. All the fun stuff. Liam's fantasy team sucks. Let's go.
Please.
That's it.